I don't think a lot of people think about hair itself. We take this hair. What color was it when it came from the donor? What color was this? Pretty close to this color, actually. But maybe you're not using that color. Maybe you're using a much lighter color. So to me, it's almost like, it's like this. Can I just use the same color formula on two different people? Why not? Because even if it's the same color formula and they look like they're the same color, they might come out two different colors. Why? Because one might have started off lighter or darker than the other. One might have a different pigmentation, maybe more driven in there because they've been box coloring their own hair for a while. The other one's been going to a salon. There's just so many variations in these two different people and their lifestyles and how their hair got colored. That's exactly what's going on with extensions. The extensions themselves started off one color, got bleached up to a particular tone, and then were colored to match a particular color,
I agree.
So your color, it's like coloring two different people. So you can't just put color on extensions and a person's head and expect them both to turn the same color, lighter or darker, especially if you're going lighter. I don't
think people realize that hair extensions are not this magical unicorn thing. They also have their own individual texture, density, and porosity. In addition to everything else you've said, they still also retain their own version and variables of texture, density, and porosity. So yes, it is completed at the factory and set up for manufacture. And then that, now that I say that out loud, that just reminds me as well too, the completion from the factory into packaging, that dye load is a textile dye. That's not even a regular dye. So that's a whole nother variable in addition to everything you've said and everything I've said too. There is so many things going on. There is no way in this God's green earth you're ever going to get it perfect. And that's the worst. That's the kiss of death. I'm a perfectionist. Not when it comes to hair extensions. You do not want to be. We should do a whole thing on why you shouldn't be a perfectionist for hair extensions.
Let me blow your mind just a little bit being a colorist. I think you're going to enjoy this. I just came back from a hair replacement conference, and I don't even know the answer to this. So I'm going to be a little vulnerable here for a second. Okay. Because hair replacement hair systems are colored with textile dyes also, and extensions are. Some of the attendees were saying, where can we get textile dyes? Should we be using that to refreshen color? I thought, oh, interesting. I don't know. We're kind of looking into that now. But one of the ladies says, well, I have a confession to make. Let me tell you what I do to freshen color on systems I've been doing for a long time. RIT dye, the dye that people use for clothing. And I said, is that a textile dye? I mean, we do use it for textiles. Is it a stain? Is it a deposit only style color? Now I want to dive down this rabbit hole of what is RIT dye and how would it affect hair? Is it just a stain? Is it just a deposit only? So she mixes in her own little bottles, like her own little chemist. Because I said, wait, if you put that in some water in a tub, can you just, this wouldn't be the most sanitary thing to do, but it was just a mental, like trying to understand the language processing. Could I dip multiple hair systems in the same one throughout the day, or does it have an oxidation, or does it time out? And she was like, so I do use the same bottle over and over. And I didn't understand it at first until somebody explained it to me later. But what she meant is she takes a bottle of water and she puts 1 or 2 or 3 drops of a particular color.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so she's not using the same stuff over and over. She just means her mixture, and she knows what color this performs. And this is what she does. She puts that bottle in a microwave for a bit, warms it up, because that is the heat that's helping open the cuticle layer, I guess, and getting it to activate. I don't know if it's activating the actual color or if it's helping activate the hair by opening the cuticle or pores. And so I thought, well, that, I've been on this color knowledge search recently with the color training. So now everything about color is interesting to me.
It's fascinating, right?
Yeah. So now I'm like, all right, I get a little bit of normal color systems and deposit only color systems. Now I'm going into coloring clothing. How is that color different? Is it just a stain? We're not going to go into great detail here, but that you brought it up. Hair extensions is not colored with the same type of color we color hair with. So it's not going to perform the same. That's why you've got to treat them separately.